Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Girivaradari Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Anandana Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Radha Kunjabi Hari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare 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 Rama. Hey Nitya Gaura Haribo 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 Nitya Gaura Haribo Haribo. Jaya Radha Shyama Sundar Shri Radhe. Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada. So now we will chant Premadvani prayer, so everyone should bow down their head to the floor. Yeah. Jaya Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajākacārya Stotra Sata His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. ISKCON BPT Founder Srila Prabhupada Ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री वसदि गौर भक्त वृंद की. श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरि गोवर्धन की. वृंदावन धाम की. मायापुर धाम की. यमुना माई की. गंगा माई की. तुलसी महारानी की. भक्ति देवी की. हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की. Samveda Bhakta Vrinda ki. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Nice to see all of you. When we chant Premadvani praise, the whole time we have to stay down. This is very nice to offer respects to all the great personalities and the holy place, the Dham. So it's good to always practice unless you have some disease and you can't bend down. But if you don't have, then you should. That's etiquette, Vaishnava etiquette. Okay, so today we are reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 12, which is called devotional service. devotional service, and the text is 16. We have it on a board, and we can chant. You can chant after me. Anapekṣaḥ śucir dakṣa udāsīno gata-vyathaḥ sarvārambha-parityāgī yo mad-bhaktaḥ samē priyaḥ anapekṣaḥ śucir dakṣa udāsīno gata-vyathaḥ sarvārambha-parityāgī yo mad-bhaktaḥ samē priyaḥ anapekṣaḥ śucir dakṣa udāsīno gata-vyathaḥ sarvārambha-parityāgī yo mad-bhaktaḥ samē priyaḥ. Dakṣa. Udāsīno gata-vyathaḥ sarvārambha-parityāgī mad-bhaktaḥ samē priyaḥ anapekṣaḥ śucir dakṣa udāsīno gata-vyathaḥ sarvārambha-parityāgī yo mad-bhaktaḥ samē priyaḥ anapekṣaḥ śucir dakṣa udāsīno gata-vyathaḥ sarvārambha-parityāgī yo mad-bhaktaḥ samē priyaḥ. Anybody from ladies' side? Anapekṣaḥ śucir dakṣa udāsīno gata-vyathaḥ sarvārambha-parityāgī yo mad-bhaktaḥ samē priyaḥ. gata-vyathaḥ sarvārambha-parityāgī yo mad-bhaktaḥ samē priyaḥ. śucir udāsīno gata-vyathaḥ sarvārambha-parityāgī yo mad-bhaktaḥ samē priyaḥ. Yeah, okay, thank you. So now word for word and translation. First word for word. So word for word, also you repeat after me. Anapekṣaḥ, neutral. śuciḥ, pure. dakṣaḥ, expert. udāsīnaḥ, free from care. gata-vyathaḥ, free from all distress. sarvārambha, of all endeavors. Parityāgī, renouncer. Yaha, anyone who. Mad-bhaktaḥ, my devotee. Saha, he. Me, to me, sorry. Priyaḥ, very dear. Translation. My devotee who is not dependent, repeat, on the ordinary course of activities, who is pure, expert, without cares, free from all pains, and not striving for some result, is very dear to me. Yeah. A purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Purport. It's a very beautiful purport. Describes somebody who is very dear to Krishna. So Prabhupada says, money may be offered to a devotee, but he should not struggle to acquire it. If automatically, by the grace of the Supreme, money comes to him, he is not agitated. Naturally, a devotee takes a bath at least twice in a day and rises early in the morning for devotional service. Thus, he is naturally clean, both inwardly and outwardly. A devotee is always expert because he fully knows the essence of all activities of life, and he is convinced by the authoritative scriptures. A devotee never takes part of a particular party. Therefore, he is carefree. He is never pained because he is free from all designations. He knows that his body is a designation, so if there are some bodily pains, he is free. The pure devotee does not endeavor for anything which is against the principles of devotional service. For example, constructing a big building requires great energy, and a devotee does not take to such business if it does not benefit him by advancing his devotional service. He may construct a temple for the Lord, and for that he may take all kinds of anxiety. But he does not construct a big house for his personal relations. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Staptitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Pada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Judge Pardon Krishna Bhaktivedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Guru Yes, so we'll go back to the verse again. 12:16. My devotee, who is not dependent on the ordinary course of activities, who is pure, expert, without cares, free from all pains, and not striving for some result, is very dear to me. So this is a section of Bhagavad Gita that Krishna is telling what he likes. He says, verse by verse, he's listing the qualities of a devotee, and then he says, if someone has these qualities, is very dear to me. And whenever I go through all this list, I feel like, oh, that's not me. But but it's actually at the same time it's very inspiring to develop these qualities. Some are very subtle, but some are actually very practical, what we should do and what we should not do. So that's why this chapter is also called devotional service or bhakti, because bhakti is not just some feeling in the heart, because here we come to temple and it's such a nice feeling and we think it's bhakti, and then we go home, we forget everything about bhakti. So that's why Srila Prabhupada said that this feeling, if it's a real feeling actually, it will manifest in some activity. Because bhakti really means to love, yeah? That is that feeling what we have, it's some loving feeling. But real love is to do something. If we just say, oh, I love you, but then we do all sorts of nonsense to you, who will believe these words? Or if I just say, I love you, but then I just pass by and don't pay any attention, that who will believe my words? But if I really love you, then I will actually, without any effort, just naturally will try to show you, because that will be the result of my love. The symptoms of my love will be that I want to render some nice seva to you, and I want to do something nice, even just to say some nice words or offer some kindness. So the same is this bhakti for Krishna. If we really feel that thing in the heart when we came to the temple, then why do we need to give it up so easily? We can just, and then it should manifest also like some kind of practical activity. And that's why Srila Prabhupada, not by mistake and not by just some accident or just circumstantially called bhakti, devotional service. There was actually purpose why he translated bhakti as devotional service, because in the spiritual world, in Goloka Vrindavan, everybody is serving Krishna, because that's the topmost planet. And why it's topmost? Because they have the topmost loving feelings, the deepest feelings towards Krishna. So the service, there is non-stop going on, 24 hours. Since the beginning, without beginning and without the end. Like our great teachers, our acharyas, they say that here in Vrindavan, Radha and Krishna eternally are living. And they say there was never been the time when they came here. And there was never time that they left from here. Means that they always are here. There was no time that, oh, now they came. They always been here. So the same, as Radha Krishna has always been here in Vrindavan or Goloka Vrindavan, the service to them always also eternally has existed, because bhakti is eternal, Bhagavan is eternal, and bhakta, who performs that service, is also eternal. These three things coexist together. They cannot be separated. So if we do talk about bhakti, the real bhakti will manifest in some kind of activity. And this activity will give us so much satisfaction in the heart that we won't want to do any other thing. But this activity also should be done with certain mood, and that activity I'm talking about is devotional service, in a certain mood, in a certain consciousness, and And from that, and because of that specific consciousness, certain qualities as a result of purification will manifest in our hearts. So this is what Krishna is telling. What is these qualities that he expects us as the devotees, as Krishna bhaktas, to have? So I just want to go through all these qualities as a summary, in one, that we can actually live it. How you say, we don't need to account to anybody else. We need to account to ourselves and measure our own ways of life and see do we have any of those qualities, and which field, which area we have to work on. So Krishna says, one who is not envious but is kind friend to all living entities, who does not think himself a proprietor, one who does not think that he owns anything, a proprietor, and is free from false ego, who is equal in both happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied, self-controlled, and engaged in devotional service with determination, his mind and intelligence fixed on me. Such a devotee of mine is very dear to me, to Krishna. Then he says, he by whom no one is put into difficulty. It is very interesting to live such a life that by us nobody is put in a difficulty. And who is not disturbed by anyone. So these two things, we should not be disturbed by anybody, and we should not disturb anybody, consciously or unconsciously. Who is equipoised in happiness and distress, fear and anxiety. Such devotee is very dear to me. My devotee, this is our today's verse, my devotee who is not dependent on the ordinary course of activities, who is pure, expert, without cares, free from all pains, and not striving for some result, he is very dear to me. One neither rejoices nor grieves, who neither laments nor desires. Lament what we do when we lose something, we lament. And when we don't have something, then we desire, we hanker. So one who doesn't do these things, Krishna mentions here, one who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things, Shubha and Ashubha. Such devotee is very dear to me. So this you have to think, how, okay, we give up inauspicious things, but then we have to also give up auspicious things up. That Krishna says, this I like. So how do you understand that we want to give up, that Krishna wants us to give up auspicious things? Because this auspicious, inauspicious is just a material duality. Something good, something bad. So only thing auspicious is to please Krishna. One who is equal to friends and enemies, who is equipoised in honor and dishonor, heat and cold, happiness and distress, fame and infamy, who is always free from contaminating association, is always silent and satisfied with anything, who does not care for any residence, who is fixed in knowledge and who is engaged in devotional service. Such a person is very dear to me. So he concludes also, one who is engaged in devotional service. So everybody should be engaged in some kind of devotional service. To who? To Krishna. Because sometimes we may think or say or claim that I work, this is my devotional service, or I serve my relative, or this or that, this is my seva. But actually, bhakti is to Bhagavan. So, of course, to the pure Vaishnavas also, we serve them. But that is not independently of Krishna, from Krishna. So what Prabhupada says here in the Purport, he says that money may be offered to a devotee, but he should not struggle to acquire it. Yeah? So here Prabhupada says that nobody should struggle to acquire any kind of money. How is that? Because Prabhupada says very often that we are the devotees, or not just devotees, all of us, we are children of Krishna. We are children of very rich person, the richest person of the world. So, if we have such a rich father, how does it make sense to endeavor for any kind of wealth? If a son has a relationship with the father, and the father is the richest person in the whole creation, where is the worry or any scarcity for such kind of child? So that's what Krishna says here. A devotee who is not dependent on the ordinary course of activities means that a devotee may think, if I will get a good job, then I will be protected, then the money will come, and my life will be good. This is what I should do. Or we know the song Nityapada Kamala, yeah? They say, Vidya Kule Kikoriba. So what is in education and all your family relations, what they can actually do for you, what they will, how they will go protect you. They are as temporary as you yourself. So where is the intelligence to rely on these kind of things so much? But what to do if a money comes? Then a devotee also doesn't reject it. Yeah? When a money comes on its own accord very easily. Yeah, like we say when we have a, also of course in the society we have different ashramas, and the family men, they do have to do something to maintain the family and have a house where the Krishna's deity is installed, and this house become a temple. So to maintain the temple, brahmacharis go on book distribution, they collect money and bring to the temple, and the grihasta also goes to work and brings money and maintains the temple, where he also has a small room to live himself, the same like brahmachari has a room in a temple. So grihasta also has some room in a temple where he lives as well. So this is all devotional service, but there is no an extra effort to acquire more and more and more out of greediness, because whatever Krishna is giving us, that we will already also get. And when we have an association with Krishna, then there should be no fear and anxiety. Like for example, we have a very wonderful association with Krishna when we chant the holy name, because the holy name is Krishna. It's not different from Krishna. It is actually Krishna avatar, the name. So even an offended name can give us so much material benefit. What to speak of clearing stage, this I forgot now. Namabhas, that can already give us liberation, moksha. So what to speak of Shuddhanam? This is Chintamani. It can give us Krishna Prema. So and if we have such kind of benediction from association of Krishna, what is there need to care and worry about the small, small desires and small, small things which are already solved? There is nothing to be attained or made new. Like even in our Bhagavad Gita, that Krishna says to Arjuna, look at all these soldiers, they are already dead actually, but you need to be an instrument. So the same in our lives, Krishna has already given things to us. If we given ourselves to Krishna, then our lives belongs to Him. So whatever Krishna is doing to our life, that is a perfect, that is a fully perfect. And this is what I have to learn myself. I'm saying this here sitting, but actually it's a very important lesson. And this is what I have to understand, that the holy name is no different from Krishna. And by continuously chanting that holy name, we get this association. And there should be no worries about anything else, because whatever is happening in our lives, it's perfect at that moment. Yeah, so if money comes to us, there should be no agitation. Also, it's said in a purport, yeah? If automatically by grace of the Supreme money comes to him, a devotee is not agitated. Sometimes I heard one devotee telling that, I live a very simple life, I have one wife, one son, and we have our house here, and we don't really do it much. Whatever Krishna sends, that we accept. And then he says that there was some little wealthy man, got inspired how they live so simply here in Raj. So he wants to give money to that man, that devotee. And this devotee says, no, I'm not accepting any money. And he jumped in the bus and he ran away. But no problem, even if this man is so detached and he really doesn't need anything, he can still take this money and he can give a donation to the temple or something like this. So then that wealthy man would get actually benefit from his own money. Otherwise, no, he is only earning and spending all in himself. And if we don't give him opportunity to serve Krishna with his hard-earned money, then where is his chance? So out of mercy, the devotee accepts actually some money, what comes, or some wealth, what comes on his way, out of his merciful heart. Like Srila Prabhupada also heard that there was one Babaji who rejected all the money that was given to him, but Prabhupada said, don't worry, give all this money to me. Give all this money to me and I will engage it for Krishna's service. Because what money is? Money is Lakshmi. So who does she belong to? She belongs to Krishna. So some kind of Ravana-like people have taken that money and they have kidnapped her from Krishna and trying to enjoy themselves. And this not just trying, they are actually incurring a lot of bad reactions for themselves. So we actually have to encourage these people to, instead of using that Lakshmi, which is Krishna's property, for themselves, we should induce, by hook or by crook, to use their money for Krishna. So that's how Prabhupada said that if that Babaji doesn't want the money, give the money to me. Because the devotee knows to who everything belongs to. This is what we call Ishavasyam, or Ishopanishad principle, yeah, which he says that devotee knows exactly well who everything belongs to. And we know that everything belongs to the supreme proprietor, who is Krishna. So if a devotee meets some kind of object, they understand it is Krishna's property. Actually, in Srimad Bhagavatam is mentioned that everything in this material world we should see as a paraphernalia for worshipping Krishna. Like we have Aarti tray, we have this Pradipa for offering lamp, we have a lota for offering water, we have a incense holder and a plate for flowers. So when we see this Aarti, naturally we remember, oh, how we will worship Krishna with this Aarti tray, because it's a Krishna's paraphernalia. But in Bhagavatam it said that this whole world, this whole material world, is a paraphernalia to worship Krishna. So whatever comes to us, any kind of assets, any kind of wealth, any kind of objects, what comes on our way, we should immediately connect it to Krishna, seeing that this kind of paraphernalia has come in front of me. So I should worship Krishna with this wonderful paraphernalia made of 5 elements of material nature. So next Prabhupada writes in a purport that naturally a devotee, so this is for the verse śuciḥ, pure, yeah. Previously we just now talked about anapekṣaḥ, neutral, that whatever comes on the devotee's way is neutral, he knows who it belongs to. And now next word is śuciḥ, pure. So Prabhupada writes here that naturally devotee takes bath at least twice in a day and rises early in the morning for devotional service. Thus, he is naturally clean, both inwardly and outwardly. So outwardly, yes, we are clean by taking bath. Prabhupada said minimum twice. Sometimes he mentions thrice. Sometimes he mentions for certain ashramas is once. But we know Mahaprabhu, he always was going 3 times a day, bathing, and then performing his other duties. So, but that's external cleanliness, which is also a lifestyle of a Vaishnava. And then it's inward cleanliness. Prabhupada mentions here rising early. So how is this rising early can be considered to do with the cleanliness? Because what does early rising mean? What do we do when we rise early? I have one relative, she also rises very early, but she actually runs a business of accountant. And when she rises early, then all other family members sleep, so she can very quietly do her business job, an accountant. So that's why she rises very early. But really, purpose of rising so early is that we can actually chant the sacred texts, sacred mantras for worshipping of the Lord, and especially to chant the Maha Mantra. Because at early hours, it is actually the Brahma Muhurta time when everything is how you say, the benefit, the potency of all our spiritual activities are increased. So specifically with chanting of Maha Mantra, if we feel that we don't have taste for chanting the mantra, then why for Srila Prabhupada encouraged us to, not even encouraged, he actually said that we should do it. It was not like encouraged, sounds like is there some choice. But yeah, that we should wake up and we should come to the temple and see the Lord and chant the Maha Mantra in Kirtan in 4 o'clock, 4:30 in the morning. This seems like a little bit like too much. Why do we have to chant it tonight? But this is a time when everything is much more beneficial, so it's more potent. So if we don't have a ruchi for a Lord service, for a name, then during this Muhurta, Brahma Muhurta time, it's a more chances for us to get the taste if we actually chant the holy name in those early hours. Although we know we have to chant the holy name 24 hours a day, but there's not many devotees who actually can chant 24 hours a day. So if we cannot, then we should actually come in the mornings to develop our taste. And if we do chant 24 hours a day, then naturally that morning hours are going to be included also. And this śuciḥ, we see, Prabhupada here says pure. And in some places he also mentions opposite of śuciḥ is muchi. Yeah, and sometimes devotees ask me, what is this muchi? What is muchi? Here in India we often use juta. No? Oh, don't touch, this is contaminated. But Prabhupada actually was using the word muchi. And I was always thinking, because they asking me, okay, śuciḥ we know it's clean, pure, but muchi is what? And I never actually knew exactly what muchi means until I heard one class where Prabhupada actually explained that this is a kind of class of people who are muchis. And they are the ones who, when a cow dies, they take the cow, they take away the skin from the cow, and they eat that flesh, but from skin they make shoes and they make different items from that skin, from the dead cow skin, and they sell it, and this is how they live. So this work, eating that cow's flesh and making it's a dirty work. So that's why they are called muchi. You know? So that's why this word muchi is opposite of śuciḥ. So śuciḥ is like a Brahminical way of living, which is clean and very much in a goodness, and the muchi is opposite of śuciḥ. Yeah, so Prabhupada wanted actually that here, especially in Vrindavan, we do follow that śuciḥ principle, that cleanliness, like here he says bathing, waking up early in the morning, but also in a practical, our lives, there is it's not a lecture, I think it's a conversation, but maybe it's also a lecture where Prabhupada is teaching, he's teaching his disciples that now when you go to Vrindavan, when you drink water, then you should drink like this without touching. Because, he says, if others see you touching, they will think, look at this Swamiji, how he's teaching these other people. So it is very interesting for me, is how Prabhupada actually emphasized this, that when you go to Vrindavan, you drink like this, because that is that śucir, that very nice way of drinking. So even such a small things, how to drink water, Srila Prabhupada is teaching us. And the followers, sincere followers of Prabhupada, we also try to execute his instructions. Yes, so then later, next Prabhupada, dakṣaḥ, expert. He's saying that a devotee is always expert because he fully knows the essence of all activities of life, and he is convinced of the authoritative scriptures. Yeah? So we're hearing sometimes from devotees that that we need to be knowing a little bit of everything, but in one thing we should be expert. Yeah? So, and then one Prabhupada disciple explained to me that, let's say if we fly an airplane and something happens and some accident happens and we fall on an uninhabited island, then what we will do in this island? We will build a temple. And if we are not expert in anything, if we don't know anything, how we will do? So that's why every devotee should know something of everything, a little bit of everything. Then in any circumstance, they can practice Krishna consciousness, they can preach Krishna consciousness, they can even run a temple in uninhabited island. And expert in one thing. And then I was thinking, okay, somebody can be expert in one thing, somebody can be expert in two things, or three things, and somebody maybe cannot be expert in anything. There can be such people just not expert in anything. But real importance is to become expert in the chanting of the holy name, the chanting Mahamantra. And anything we do, whether we do little bit of everything or we do one thing expertly, that everything has to be accompanied with the chanting of the holy name. Because when we perform 9 processes of devotional service, out of these 9, all of them should be accompanied by kirtan. And even kirtan should be accompanied by kirtan, yeah? Meaning by chanting of the holy name. Because sometimes kirtan goes so much big gap that the holy name is lost. You don't even forget whether it was Hare or Rama or Krishna last word. So every time in kirtan has to be the holy name. Because one time, one of our most senior sannyasis here in ISKCON, he was saying that there are some Mayavadi preachers who says that when we chant the Mahamantra, then the real meaning is not in the holy name, but in a gap between the holy name. In that empty space, this is the real essence of that mantra. And then this sannyasi replied that, yes, but our devotees chant such a way that there is no gaps. There are no gaps. There's only holy name everywhere. So like this, so the kirtan should also have like this, that there is only holy name. And what to speak of all other devotional procedures, everything has to be accompanied by the holy name 24 hours a day. And in that way, we can definitely become expert in the chanting of the holy name, because it is said that how do we clear ourselves from offenses? Let's say someone has committed some offense. You do like this, for example, Vaishnava Parad, we go and we apologize, we say vancha kalpatarabhyascha, or we commit other serious offense, and then we some kind of rectify. But this just is not enough. Actually, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that, especially for Vaishnava Parad, but others as well, one thing is to apologize, one thing is to pay obeisances, third thing is not to do again. But what also we should do, what Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, we have to continuously chant the holy name. So that means that one who continuously chants the holy name 24 hours, that person clears himself from aparadas, from offenses. So in that way, the Shuddhanam, very soon can dance on our tongues. So this chanting continuously is very, very important thing. Srila Prabhupada says, you can chant in a bus, you can chant while walking, even Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati says you can chant while sleeping, you can chant while passing. You can chant while eating, while sitting. Just always make sure that the holy name is with you. Then it means Krishna is always with you. And in that way, we become Krishna conscious. Like in the Bhagavad Gita 18:58, it is said, if you become conscious of me, you will pass over all obstacles of life. 18:58, and just quickly I want to open and read the translation. 1 second. If you are conscious of me, it's Machita Sarva Durgani. If you are become conscious of me, you will pass over all the obstacles of conditioned life by my grace. So if you are conscious of Krishna, everything will happen by Krishna's grace. But if, however, you do not work in such consciousness, but act through false ego, not hearing me, you will be lost. So one way that you pass through everything, and another way you will be lost. And if you are conscious of Krishna, then Krishna is going to be with you all the time. And the easiest way how to be conscious of Krishna is to chant the holy name. And then again, it's next is free from all distress, gata-vyathaḥ. So that means, Prabhupada says, a devotee never takes part of a particular party, therefore he is carefree. There is no taking side of this or taking side of that. He's free from anxiety, of material anxiety. And why devotee doesn't take any part of this or that? Because all these things are temporary. It has a beginning. This quarrel started at some point. It means this quarrel will end at some point. Where is there to take sides of some party? There is only one party we should take side of, and this is Krishna's party. Srila Prabhupada says that the aim of this ISKCON movement is to join the Krishna's transcendental dancing party. So this is the only party we should take side of. No other parties should be interested in. So the next Srila Prabhupada speaks about free from pain. What he's saying, free from all pains. And here he said he's never pained because he's free from all designations. He knows that his body is a designation. So if there are some bodily pains, he's free. That's some kind of difficult to accept, no? How is this? Okay, I think I'm not really identifying with my body, but what about when you have a headache? Then a little bit, yes, I identify actually. But here Prabhupada said, if I really have realized that I'm not this body, then when the pain comes, this is a body pain. Sometimes in Ekadashi, you have to fast. Oh, so much difficult, headache starting, stomach pain starting, weakness starting, okay, a little bit eating. But some actually devotees who have practiced for a longer time and practiced very much seriously, and they have developed a relationship with the holy names, they've taken shelter of the holy name. So then that little discomfort from fasting is not going to disturb their mind so much. It's a little bit thing. I remember when I was a small child and my grandmother was working in a garden and some big spider came, and I was so scared of the spider. So in my country, spiders don't have any poison or biting, nothing. But just by this looking of this spider, I was very scared. So it was on my grandmother's hand. I said, grandmother, he's not biting you in the hand? And she's teasing me, little bit biting. But in my country, spiders don't bite. A little bit biting. Oh, is this not painful for you? A little bit painful, but no problem. There are much more pain in my in a life than one little bite. And I was like, oh. But actually it's true. Even if it's spider bite or something, one mosquito, a little bit bite. For a small child, they are so much absorbed in that pain. We had one devotee from America, he came. And he was very new devotee. And here in Vrindavan, one spider bite him. So he immediately went to a director of some kind of department. Look, a spider bite, a little bit even blood is coming out. So what I'm supposed, not the spider, mosquito, what I'm supposed to do? He has no experience like this. So for him, this one, maybe in America, he lives in a nice flat. There is no one, even mosquito in his life he's seen. So now one mosquito bite, it's a big thing. Here, million of mosquito flying around every time. One bite, it's not a big deal. It is just an experience. So the same for experienced devotees, for very surrendered devotees,